So what you just saw here is not a performance art. It is not a skill. It is just alignment. So one hand was the intuition, the other hand was the logic, and those two systems just work together. For many years, I believed I had to choose one identity, like business or art, intuition or logic, performance or presence. And then when I start drawing with my both hands at the same time, this just taught me something very simple. Wholeness is always stronger than separation. So we got fragmented, but we didn't get fragmented because we were really confused. It was the thing that was chosen to teach us. So we had to choose something. This is what we learned. And then I realized, after I had all those intuitions with me, it is all about alignment. So in a word, when you start thinking about choosing something, everything is becoming more, right? More speed, more anything that you can have about having a whole too much things. And in that section, when you have so many choices, it is really hard to select. So even when you are watching a Netflix, you are spending more than 10 minutes to select a show, and while watching it, you are falling asleep, right? You can ask even my husband. So this is all the things that we have in that confusion, because everything is too much currently. And in that thing, in that era, this is all about the fog that we have. So what kind of fog is, this is not about like something, ignorance or something that we cannot see. It is just everything, all the lights coming together in one section, all at the same time. So this is the fog that we are living in. Everything is too much. And even in that noise of loudness, something happened to come again, which is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence took the stage with us, and it made everything even complicated. So when you have all the things possible, how are you going to choose? So I think this is the question that make me come into something different, which is about alignment. So intelligence is not any longer something that we can measure, but maybe we need to align it. Everything needs to be accumulated and needs to be aligned. So when I was thinking about it, if the intelligence is not any longer accumulated, but should be aligned, I came to something that needs to be a compass. So intelligence shouldn't be any longer measuring people. We were measured enough, right? So we don't need another intelligence model or method, because there are many, and we were measured enough. So I thought maybe we need not a scale, we need a compass. So we can see the compass in my background now, which is more showing you the center, which is the holistic intelligence that I mentioned it. It is not a new theory, it's not a new system, it is just something that I can say in a world that there are too many things. We need to have a balance and we need to navigate. So it is not about where to go, but exactly know where you are. So you can start with the IQ. So maybe you feel like you are selecting something and you are doing something perfectly, but maybe it is not the correct thing. You didn't even look whether it is good for you or not, right? So this is the IQ. So an architect, if enters into a room Maybe others will see chaos, but an architect will see everything like a kind of stage, already the buildings, right? But he will not think about maybe he shouldn't build in the building in the first stage. So then this really going back to the south, which is the why, which is the spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is something more than a gut feeling, because we are usually thinking like there is something that is feeling right for us, and we think it is a gut feeling, but maybe it is not that irrational. Maybe it is just the needle of the compass that we have. And this is showing you the why you have to have it, right? And then, when I thought about the spiritual intelligence, about the why, maybe I will know what is in it for me, why I have to have it, but then I will not move forward. I might not have any action. Then this came to me into the East, which is the emotional intelligence, mainly really linked with also the empathy, and coming to the sense of the heart, which is the how section. So how am I going to know which is right or wrong for me? So maybe you are just going to the room again, and then you are reading the silence in between the words. This is the EQ, right? And then when you have the EQ completed, maybe you will have a kind of good reading of the room, but still you might not act. You don't know what to do. Then coming to the creative intelligence side, which is mainly turning ideas into facts, something into reality, doing it, but maybe building the stage in a wrong street. So again, it's not going to be really enough by itself. So what I realized is the failure will be in any of those if you are not having the internal compass needle that you have. So let me also explain something from my life about this holistic intelligence that I had as a compass for showing us the alignment. Is like my friends were always joking with me, like saying, when you appear, when you come to somewhere, chairs are appearing. So especially when we are in a restaurant, if we were waiting for 20 minutes, she was saying, like, always when you came, you can find a table or a chair in 2 minutes. How possible? Then I started thinking, and believe me, it is not always happening. So then I start thinking why sometimes it's happening and why not all the time. Because if I am aligned by myself when I am entering into a restaurant, then all the chairs are appearing because I am not just targeted with only one intelligence approach. I'm using all. I'm relaxed. I'm not like stuck myself in one direction. I have the eye contact, which is the EQ. I will try to look whether there's a chair empty, etc., which is the IQ part. Then I can even create some tables together with talking with the waiters, etc. So it's like the whole system. It is the wholeness, not a separation. But sometimes, if I really want to have that chair, I'm really obsessed with that chair, and I'm like blind. I have only one direction, and I'm not seeing even the waiter. Waiter is just a problem for me. I started seeing only the problems and the issues, and the chairs are not appearing. So this is just the example of the holistic intelligence in my life. So I think this is going to be a revolution in the upcoming years, other than the artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence now can have all the speed, all the pattern recognition, pattern detections, anything. But then when it sees the path, who is going to know where to walk and how to walk in that pattern? And when I'm believing for the artificial intelligence era, I can call this more like instead of an age of AI, more like an age of emotion, but not like having abundance of emotions, more feeling like age of emotion, listening within. So when you know your compass, when you know your balance, the needle, and it will be more interesting for us because AI cannot copy the gut feeling. You have the gut feeling. Algorithm will never have a gut feeling. So we will be, as human, those kind of people as having this age of emotion era living species. And I think the future leadership will be the same. The leaders in the future will not be measured by their performance, but more how they are feeling without abundance, how they are directing without repressing their emotions, but also not losing themselves while creating. Those kind of balance will be more important, I think, in the future. So when I turn back to that painting, as I said, when the intuition and the logic start aligning together, and even you can practice it because I'm right-handed, I'm not using my both hands. This is not a talent. It is just when they start following each other, they stop fighting with each other and aligning themselves into the motion and stop really fighting. And in the age of artificial intelligence, which we now actually converted into an age of emotion, if intelligence will not be scarce, I think alignment will be the true currency. It will become the true currency that we can have in our hands. So the future leaders will be also being measured by themselves with their alignments in that prospect. So if AI can have all the paths, can recognize all the paths with all the speed, who is going to know which way is better to walk with? Thank you.